All right. So what that does is that puts us on page Resh Ches Tzadi in our book on spheres. I'm sure that you have this.
Which book?
It's Spheres Omer to the Hakavanot.
Tip. Oh, get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we got it. But we're on page Resh Ches Tzadi. Now, why do we come over here? We've been over this sefer many times, and where I want to get to is the two different things that I'd like to be able to do. In the Hakavanot, it seems to me that all the roads are leading to the Rashash, and we have to figure out what's going on with the Rashash. And as a result of that, I know it's difficult, and it's difficult all the way along. So where I want to go to is page Shin Gimel. So what he brings us here is that he brings us into the Matbeah Habracha, and he's going to show us the first parts of the Matbeah of the words Baruch Atah, and then he says Hashem. And then after that, we'll just look through that, and then we'll go to the Hakdama, the Hakavanot via the Bracha. That's on page Shin Gimel. And then there's a huge shefa down below on that, which could be very interesting. I'll look at it some more as we go on. And we'll also be able to look at, which I'd like to do if we have time, is to be able to go through the day and try to learn the language of the Rashash that has to do with what's happening every day. Today is the 12th day of the Omer. So whatever that means, I'm not sure. But at any rate, it's the Hod of Gevura, or the Gevura of Hod. I always go both ways. Over here on Reish Chesed, he starts with the word Baruch, and with the Rashash, the thing that I try to figure out is where he's starting. So this says he has in bold print in the word underneath the word Baruch, which is the Gematria 228. So Baruch really is a Hamshacha. Mekesser Elyon. So I don't know what he means by Kesser Elyon, but he means for the highest possible place. There has a starting point. And it goes to the base of Vugi the Chagat, the Atek, the Atzilus. Now he's going to be dealing with this concept of Chagat, which is the middle parts of, because in the Rashash he is making Partsufim here and he's making Partsufim there. So he shows us that in fact the Chagat, the Atek, it's again, how we got the Hagat, I'm not 100% sure, but it's the middle parts of. And he shows us two the Yehudim. One is the Yichud Panimi, one is the Yichud Chitzon. Then he says, Yekami lacham shech shafa bebeis yivugi the Hagat Atek. Once again, Hagat Atek, Yomim. The base yivugi the Hagat the Erik Anpin, and then bring him down to the Zivugim of Erik Anpin. The Zavik base Zivugi the Haga the Erik Anpin the Atzilos, and here we are in the top of Atzilos from the Kezer. We see what's happening in the Kezer. So a question that I have here is, what's going with Chagat? Chagat is the parts of Ma or Zeranpin, or the middle parts of, or what? Why is he doing that? I don't know. When we get later on, we'll see a little bit more. So then he had that yichud, and then he says after the yichud of Erik Anpin, the Chagat of Erik Anpin. Once again, the question is, can't avoid the question of what's going on with this Chagat. Yikavin lacham shech shefem bezivuk benimi derabad. So now you're going to take the shefa that come from the Benemias of the zivug of Chabad. Let's say Chabad is Chabad. Chabad is not Eric Anpen. So this is going to bring us yichud mezivug benemi the Chabad the Chagat. Remember, Chagat is like divided into three parts. So there's a Chabad Chagat Nai of Chagat. So he said the Chabad the Chagat, and then he says the Ma'u Ben, which would be the female side and the male side, the Eric Anpen, the Zivug benemi the Chabad the Chagat, the Ma'u Ben, the Abba ve'Imba ve'Yasa. So this is moving it down. So we'll go over this and do the best we can with it, and then we'll get, eventually we'll get to Shin Gimel. So then we have the Sheva Dema, the Zivuga Benimi, the Nizka. Okay, so let's try something else. Let's try it differently. Let's divide these two. Now we're going to divide it into two sides. So we see in the drawing that he has Asmab. He shows us Asmab. This is the Shefa that's coming down on the right side. He says this is the Shefa Dema. Ma is the right side. Is the side of Erika of Hachan. So he says Shefa Dema de Zivug Benimi. So that Zivug Benimi Hanizker de Rich Meponen de Malchios. The Chachmos, the Chachma Bebina Bechasana Gevuras Dema. Now let me go over it again because I didn't really understand. It's too much. Now I'm sure this is word Meponim. He says Zivug Penimi. So he says this is the Meponim de Malchios, the Chachmos, the Chachma. So that's the face side of the Malchios. And he got down to the bottom. The Chachmos, the Chachma of Bina, of the Chachmos of the Chachma of the Bina, and also the Chesadim Megavuros, the Ma, Uben, the Ma, the Chabad, the Chagat, the Arech. And that's a lot there. It's the Bina, the Chachma, Ubina, V'chasadim, so you have Chachma and Bina of Chasadim, and he says the Chachmas of Chachma, the Chachmas of Bina, and the Chachmas of the Chasadim, the Gevuros. Then they come to Ma Uben, from the male and female side, to Ma, because Ma has a Ma Uben, the Chabat, the Chagat, the Arich, to the top part of the Parsha, which is called Chagat Darich. That's a real mouthful. So he's bringing this down into the Malchios, and it's going on. And what is he bringing? He says, you see the Shefa here, which is the Asma. So that was the Shefa de Ma. It's coming on the right side. Now we have the Shefa de Ben. Go to the left side. Here he has only two illustrations. In this one he says, Shefa de Ben, the Zivug Benimi. Once again, we're doing the Zivug de Benimi, Hanizkar, which is talking about from Arich. Meponim de Malchios, from the face side of the Malchios, the Chachmos. Once again, we're doing the Chachma, all Chachma, and we're not studying this right at the moment, but I think it refers to what we'll see later is the he calls it the Chabad Chagtam, the Orech, the Chabad Chagtam, the Oivi. He comes like that. Meponim de Malchios, the Chachmos. The Malchus of the Chachmos of the parts of the Partsufim of either it is a Partsuf by itself, but he's counting it in Orech. He said the Chachma Ubina, the Ma Uben the Ben, the Chabad, the Chagat, the Arich, from that very top part of Arich, that's where it's coming from, and he shows us Kasa and Kamag, not the whole, all of them, not four of them. And where is it going to go? It's going to go the Ponium, the Malchios, the Chachma, the Chug, the Zivug, Elyon, the Ima, the Vuna. Let's go over it really slowly. First of all, read it backwards. It's going in the Tevuna, the Ima, Elyon. So that means the second stage, I guess, of that. The Zivug, the Chub of the Zivug that took place between Chachma and Bebina. And let's read it from the Malchios, the Ponim, the Malchios. The Malchus of all the Chachmos of Chabad Chagtam. That's what I think it's going to be. The zivug elyon, the ima, v'tavuna, and into that yichud, and it's going to be. He shows just the name Akia, which I looked at the other side, and it says the name Havaya. So, although it's very difficult to follow his language, and we'll keep trying to look at it to see if we can get it. The thing about this is I want to point out to you that in terms of listenership of people that listen to these shiurim, for some reason, once we started looking at the Rashash, because I have another shiur that I've been doing in the Rashash, I thought when I was in Sfat, I was thinking I have to start working on the Rashash. It's very popular. I don't really understand why. Okay, so then this is all flowing downwards, and he's going on. Just looking at the drawing again, he has Asmab on the right side, and he has also Kasa and Kamag on the left side, the same thing we saw before. And so therefore we're getting a flow down. So the words are Lezivug Chabad Nizker de Mahu Ben. So it's the zivug that's going to take in the place of the highest part. The Ma'u Ben, that's a zivug that's going to take place between them. Once again, into the Hagat of Abba, Va'ima, V'yaso. So this is the whole Abba Ima constellation. Lahamshech tipos asmab, and then you're going to bring the tipos down further, the Yisod, the Chabad, the Nitzker, the Abba, V'yasos. But previously was talking about the Malchus. This is really confusing for me. But he says the Yisod, the Chabad, it's down at the bottom of the Chabad of Nizker, the Abba, V'yasos. The tipas kasa kamag, the kone, which is going to go to kone, should be yisod the chabad the ima v'tavuna, which is going to go. So this flow, which we had, let's look at the right side. So once again, it's asmab. It's going to go into the yisod of the zivug elyon the abba v'yasas. All of that shefa, which we just produced out of the word baruch, he says is coming, and he shows you the yichud. This is the yichud panimi. Now, another thing is about the Rashash is I think that this is really meditative. And so when you're supposed to look at it, you're not supposed to be logical or figure out something deep. You're supposed to be looking just, that's what the message that I'm trying to understand here is you're supposed to look at the pattern of the flow. He's giving you the flow, and it's the flow downwards. So it started out in the word Baruch, which generated two Yehudim, a Yichud, Chitzon, and Panimi. And then over here, we're over on the left side. Let's look at it again. He says the Kasa and Kamag. Once again, the Yisod, the Zivug Elyon, the Ima, the Devuna Shabo Kone Betzir Osiosov, and this is the name Kone. Aleph K, K, and you see that it's written out in a sort of a Milui form, a KK with a double K, and Yud K, Yud K. The Ks are doubled. Okay, that's all I could say about it. I don't know why. Now we're torn the other way. So that was the shefa that came for the Benimius. Shuhu Nai. So he says, well, what's the difference between the Chitzon and the Benimi? Well, it seems like he's saying that the difference between the Chitzon and the Benimi is one's called Chagat and the other one's called Nai. Well, we can understand that. Chagat is there on pen, it's the middle parts of, and Nai is the parts of outside of it, which is Nai. So he says, Chitzon, Shuhu, Nai, v'Chagat, it's both of them, the Chagat. Once again, we're in the middle parts of it's the Nai Chagat of Chagat, Hanisker, which is mentioned previously. Uben, so he says, I said it wrong. V'Chagat, the Chagat, and Nisker, the Ma'uben, the Arich, which is from the Ma'uben, the Arich. The zivug chitzon shuhu nai v'chagat the chagat, which is, he says, the zivug chitzon is called by the name of the nai the chagat, the ma'u ben of both male and female. We're going to have two sides of this. The abba ve'imba ve'yasas, and that whole panoply. And so then you're going to make this yichud. He shows you the yichud down below, which is a yichud chitzoni. He says, "Ezel mochin the osios the gimel mab." These are the osios of the three different types of mab, the asam, excuse me. Each one of them will produce a pasha, the mali, and a mali, the mali, which will come into the gematria of membet. So just trying to figure out what's flowing here. So this was for the hamshum ezivug zeh. So we had this zigun chitzoni. Mochin the osios, the mochin that are in the mosios, the gimel mab. So how is it that you count the osios? He's just counting them. The asam, imiluehem, im the ranchi, the nechi shebehem. Now the ranchi means the oros, which he's going to show us the oros down below, of the three top parts of three top lights, and apparently he can make the lights into, I'm thinking, into a nechi, which is like a partzuf, or it is just the top part, which goes along with Chabad, and we'll see some of this in the explanations that we get, God willing. Shows us the yichud down here in the next line. This is the yichud kitzoni, where the yud is on the outside, and then he shows you the oros. He shows you two oros coming down. One is menukad as chachma, the other is menukad with mina. And then he shows you the pashut, and the male, and the male de male. On the left side, this is sag. That was the pashut of the pashut male, and male de male, the av. And then we have the pashut and the male de sag. Then he shows another set. There's another set of oros, but these oros are like middle line oros. So they menukad with, I guess that's what to say, that's like malchus. He says that this is the middle line, and once again, so you have av, sag, ma, and this is ma. This is the 28 that's generated by ma. Now, I have a question. This is that why these are, we know from other places that mab is the catalyst for moving upwards. And so why did that come in here? But that's what he did. He put that in there. So now we look at the word ata. So you said the word baruch, and you got the idea, we have the idea that this flow, let's look down at the bottom again, ends up with three mobs, the asams. Then he says, you say the word ata. So he says, he shows us a zivug panimi, a zivug elyon, the abba ve'imba ve'yasas. So now when you say the word ata, it's a magic word. It causes this yichud to take place. So now we're once again, we saw that this is a zivug panimi with the yud on the inside. He said, the chabad hanitzkar, from that chabad that we're talking about, which is the top part, the abba ve'yasos, is combining them on the right side. Tipas asmab, the tipas of the asmab, and here down below us we're going to have, let me see, we're going to have asmab. Im chamesh chasadim, together with the five chasadim, the yisod, the zivug benimi, the chabad, and nizkar, which is going to go to the interior yichud of the chabad that we've been talking about, and nizkar, the ima, which is the chabad of ima, is going to the top of ima. So that's the reason why he says chabad all the time. Because chabad is where it goes in. It goes in abinimi, the chabad and nizkar, the ima, v'tavuna, shabo, kasa, kamag, and kana. So what's inside of the chabad of ima and tavuna, the left side, it's all going to be kasa, kamag, kana. So here we have kasa. Then on the right below it, let's see, I guess this is the way he's putting it. He puts ma down below it. And then he has on the left side, he has sag, and then he has ben. So all of this coming in. It comes along with chamesha chasadim, these five chasadim coming in. The yisod, the benimi, the ima, the tevuna. So it's going into, we're going ata now, it's going to be on the left side, I guess. It's going to go into the yisod, the ima, the ima, shabo, kasa, kamakana, and he shows it to, again, what's on the left side of ima? It's these three. So he says, Yakavin lacham shechem yisod and nizkar. So now we got into the yisod of ima, the ima b'tavuna, kol hasheva shema. So now we're going to have all the seven names. V'chamisha chasadim, and all of the chasadim. This is what's flowing downwards. The malchus de ima, until it reaches the malchus of ima, which is shehi chagat. Now, I'm not sure that I understand that. The malchus de ima v'tevuna shehi, that is malchus I'll say it again. The malchus de ima to tevuna, the malchus the ima of the tevuna, the malchus of ima and tevuna is called chagat. Okay. Okay, that was the shear here. We're still going along on there. We're trying to figure out what's going on with this Rashash, and then we're going to get into more detail.